Hello everyone. This video is being brought to you by my patrons Abby R and Tico Rodriguez. Thank you guys so much for your support every month. Since the last video I made, I feel very encouraged. I feel like I need to be open-minded about what God has in store for the future. Sometimes we get really comfortable in just doing things the same way always, and then when God is doing something inside of us, He's growing us, it's like, what do I do now? In the beginning, when I started making YouTube videos, it was so exciting to explore different topics of Christianity and just thinking through a lot of these things. And so now I've reached a point where I feel like God is helping me to embrace doing something different, growing. And so there are so many things that I am motivated to do, but it's one of those things where if you want to do everything, you're not going to be able to do anything. So out of all the things I want to do, I don't even want to make a priority list, honestly, because sometimes I feel like some lists are easier to follow than others, and then sometimes I'll look at the list that I wrote for myself and I'm like, who are you? Who are you to tell me what I have to do? So it's like sometimes it doesn't work for me to have a list. So here's what seems to be very logical, in my opinion, for me to do with my time coming up. Really busy. I'm really busy being a mom. I want to spend as much time as possible with my kids, with my husband, with my church, building community, building relationships there. But, at the same time, I know that it's not enough. There's just something about doing something as a person. I'm not sure if this is how men feel as well. My suspicion is that it's the same for them too. But I think it's very common for women in particular to just feel like they're lost in all of their responsibilities. They take care of so many people, and then sometimes they're like, well, what do I even like? What am I passionate about? What am I putting into myself? And so that's where I'm at. I'm like, I know that I'm really busy and that I am doing a lot for the Lord already in my life. But I feel that God wants me to go deeper with my studying the Bible, diving into topics that are very relevant to today. It's very easy to try to hide inside our Christian bubble. So here's what's going on. I am a co-host for an online book club, Girl Talk Apologetics. And we have been working the last month or more trying to prepare for this new book discussion coming up August 9th. And it's on the book of Mama Bear Apologetics, Guide to Sexuality. If you are interested, I would love for my women viewers to join me as we go through this book weekly online. I'll attach in the description of this video a video that you can check out and more information about how we do things, how we're going to do it this time around in particular. Since I'll be reading about this topic having to do with human sexuality and really exploring what the society at large has to say about sexuality and everything that's going on in the news, what children are being taught in schools or just by, the culture itself, the secular culture itself. And so I think that it's one of those topics that we can't hide as Christian parents or just as Christians, because we have people all around us in our life that are trying to make up their minds about what they think about these things. And it is our duty as Christians to be able to provide an answer to them about what our worldview, our Christian worldview has to say about human sexuality. So I was prompted like a month ago to read books on this topic and then to create a video that I know that I probably won't have as much freedom on YouTube to say all the things that I want to say about the topic. But I will be sharing that video on my Apologetics 315 channel over there as soon as I'm done with reading all the books. So that's something to give you a heads up on. So here are some of the books that I'm reading, and possibly, if possible, I'll try to include at least an interview in that video as well. We'll see. I really want to come across in a loving way. My goal is that if someone that has, a different lifestyle than what I believe the Christian worldview teaches about sexuality, my hope is that that person will be educated and not feel attacked in the way that I'm going to come across. And also, my perspective is largely of a mother. So I want to be able to communicate my findings, where I land on this topic, what I've learned, in a way that is easy for another mom, another dad to hear this information and to be able to have conversations with their own children about it and with their friends. And I mean, if you can explain things to a child, you're set to explain it to anyone else, any other adult. So here we go. Here's one of the books I've been hearing about for some time. It's by Dr. Michael Brown. And can you see it? It says, "Can you be gay and Christian? Responding with love and truth to questions about homosexuality." He's someone that I feel is a good example for Christians on being really firm on what you believe and communicating it firmly, while at the same time being gracious and loving and caring about the people that you are trying to reach. Here's someone that might not be as concerned about that, but I'm sure he comes from a good place in his heart. What is a Woman by Matt Walsh. I don't follow him too much, but I have seen the documentary that they have available online. And so I'm interested in reading this book. And then another one that this person comes from writing this book from real life situations, and it was something that was very real topic for her to write about. This book, very recommended by many. Love Thy Body by Nancy Pearcey. So looking forward to reading this book for sure. Haven't been disappointed with 2 other books that I've read from her so far. And one more that I haven't bought that I was not sure if I wanted to get, but now I think I do, because I noticed I need to have a book from the perspective of someone that is actually dealing with this in order to have, all my bases covered. So the book that I'm going to be probably reading maybe last is Holy Sexuality and the Gospel: Sex, Desire, and Relationships, Shaped by God's Grand Story. And it is written by Christopher Huang. I think that's how you say his last name. And from what I've heard, I could read this real quick. Dr. Christopher Huang explores the concept of holy sexuality, chastity in singleness, or faithfulness in marriage in a practical and relevant manner, equipping readers with an accessible yet robust theology of sexuality. Whether you want to share Christ with a loved one who identifies as gay, or you're wrestling with questions of identity yourself, this book will help you better understand sexuality in light of God's grand story and realize that holy sexuality is actually good news for all. And like I mentioned, I'm going to be reading the book of Mama Bear Apologetics Guide to Sexuality. So those are the 5 books I plan on reading. If you have any other recommendations, make sure to leave them in the comments area, or if you have any ideas of who would be a good person to interview on this topic, I would be open to doing that, even if it is someone that actually identifies as gay or whatever. There's so many titles now. If you're someone that's interested in having maybe a Zoom conversation with me, and I really would like to hear your experience and how it relates to maybe you've had bad experiences at church or with Christians, with family members. I know that even when we disagree with people, the pain is still there when you have these situations that happen with family members. Sometimes relationships are broken, and that's very painful, because it's family, it's friends, it's church leaders. So there's a lot that Christians can learn from your experience, even if you disagree with the Christian worldview. I would be interested in hearing from you, and maybe if you'd like to be a part of my video that I'm going to make on this topic in the future, let me know. You can reach me at asksusanmorales@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, susanmorales.org. So there you go. I'm also interested in hearing from people that have family members or friends that, you have experiences and you have something to say. I'm open to that. Send me a message and let me know. I want to be a part of that future video, or I want to just share this with you, and maybe you can keep me anonymous if you use it in your video. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, thank you to my patrons. Their monthly support really helps me out and encourages me and keeps me committed to making more videos on YouTube and to continue to do more things however I can help. To become a patron, I'll leave a link in the description below. And just so you know, something else that I'm working on finishing recording the lyrics to a song, My Life is in Your Hands. This is a song that was inspired when COVID had just started, being in the news for our country, the US. And so I'm finally finishing recording that. My husband and I are still working on the music, the last details, and we'll announce when we're going to be sharing that on the music platforms. And later on we'll do a music video and put that online as well, but one step at a time. So those are the things that are going on, growing in my, apologetics, Christian apologetics, taking one question at a time. Let's tackle human sexuality, and let's, get this information out there for people that are really struggling with this topic. Okay, again, thank you so much. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Oh, how I am loved by you, Jesus. Oh, how you love me. Oh, how I see what you're doing for me. Why you do it for me? I can see your love now. I can see how you gave your son for me. I can see your love now. I can see how you died for my place. I can see your love now.